I Won't Back Down by Tom Petty is played in standard tuning without a capo. We're going to start this riff with an E power chord on the 7th fret of the A string, 9th fret of the D, and 9th fret of the G, and we're going to strum down 4 times, 1 and 2 and. We're also going to have a palm mute with the right hand just resting on the strings there, just to deaden the strings as we strum. Then we're going to move the shape down 2 frets to 5, 7 and 7 and play this 3 times. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then we're going to go to a G power chord on the low E string, the 3rd fret, 5th fret on the A, 5th fret on the D. I'm going to play the and, a 4, and then a whole bar in down strums, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the E power chord, 1 and 2 and, down 2 frets to the D power chord, 3 and 4, and then to the G power chord on the low E string, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So E, 1 and 2 and D and G. That's played on repeat till the 3rd time, where we play a slightly different riff. We start off with the E going down to the D, but we're going to play 1 and 2 and then on the D, 3 and 4 and. So a whole bar there, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then 4 beats of this C power chord with the 3rd fret of the A string, 5th fret on the D, 5th fret on the G, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and then on the 4 and, just move it back up to that D power chord. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and then through the riff as normal, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So the whole thing is that E power chord, 1 and 2 and D, to the 4 and on the G power chord. 3rd time through. And the 4th time through, the same as the first 2. For the linking section from the verse to the chorus, we're going to start off with the power chords as normal, but we're going to end up with a G bar chord and then a little chord progression that'll take us into the actual chorus. So we start off with this E power chord again, 1 and 2 and, down 2 frets to that D power chord, 3 and 4. And then on the 4 and, we're going to go to a G bar chord with the 1st finger bar on the 3rd fret there. And we've got the 3rd finger on the 5th fret, the A, pinky finger 5th fret, the D, and the 2nd finger on the 4th fret, the G string. I'm going to strum down 5 times, and 1 and 2 and, then a C chord, to a G chord, and then to a C again. Okay, so slowly E, 1 and 2 and D, 3 and 4, G bar chord, and 1 and 2 and C, 3 and to the G chord, and then back to the C on the 4 and 3 and 4 and that takes us into the chorus. So the E, 1 and 2 and D, 1 and 2 and C, G, C. Then we're going to strum on the C chord, up, down, and then on the 3 and, back to the G chord, and then on the 4 and, to a D. So, and 2 and 3 and 4 and the same again here, on the up of 1 and 2 and 3, and back to the G chord, and then on the 4 and C. So it's the same thing, just reversed. So from the C, and 2 and 3 G, D, and 2 and 3 G, C, and 2 and 3 G, D. The very last time we just have a whole bar of that D, and 2 and 3 and 4 and slowly from that linking section from the E power chord, and 2 and D, G, C, G, C, G, D, C, D, and 2 and 3 and 4 and to finish the chorus. To finish the song, we go through the riff as normal, like E power chord, 1 and 2 and D and 4 G. Single strum with a G bar chord, E, D, G bar chord. For the acoustic guitar in this song, we're going to be playing an E minor chord, 2nd finger, 2nd fret of the A string, and 3rd finger, 2nd fret of the D string. The rest of the strings are open. We're going to strum down, down, up. Move to a D chord, first finger, second fret the G, third finger, third fret the B, and the second finger on the high E string at the second fret. The D string is open, and we're going to strum down, down, and then we're going to move to a G chord on the 4-and. So for the G chord, we're going to keep the third finger where it is from the D chord on the third fret of the B string. I'm going to add the third finger to the high E string of the third fret. Second finger comes to the third fret, the low E string. First finger, second fret, the A, and the other strings are open. We're going to strum up, and then down, 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 and 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And so E minor, 1, 2, and D, G. Repeat. The third time's different. We go E minor, down, down, up. Up to our D chord, but play it down, down, up. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and then to the C chord. We've got third finger, third fret of the A string, second finger, second fret of the D string, first finger on the first fret of the B string, and the G and high E strings are open. I'm going to strum down, 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 down. And then on the 4-and, we swap to a D for an up strum before going to an E minor, down, down, D down, down, G. Like the first time through. So the third time through slowly is E minor, down, down, D, C, 2 and 3 and 4, and to that D. Then we go through the normal progression, E minor, 1, 2 and D, G. So we have E minor, D, G, E minor, D, E minor, D, C,